my producer says I look like a French planter's wife, and perhaps that's only fitting in my Dominique LaRoche outfit and having just completed the French Connection tour. And now we're going to have a look at Lopino, which has a French and Spanish influence. So we're here at the Lopino Historical Complex, and we're going to have a guided tour by Mr. Martin Gomez, former curator of the Lopino Historical Complex. So join me as we continue to traverse Trinidad and all it has to offer. For those of you who are staying right here to get away, this is Real Life with Nicole, the Love Your Country series, and I'm Nicole.
Some good news today. Yes, that is what I say. Give me some good news today. That is what I say. I want a day when nobody didn't kill nobody and nobody didn't shoot nobody and nobody didn't hurt nobody. No.
Against the background of birds chirping noisily in the background, joining me is Mr. Martin Gomez, former curator of the Lopino Historical Complex, who will give us a history and a historical perspective of the Lopino Historical Complex. I understand from Mr. Gomez that he's been in this business since 1973, developing this project and working towards where we are right now. So let's have a conversation with Mr. Gomez, who will take us through the historical complexity that is the Lopino Historical Complex. Mr. Gomez, thank you so much for joining us.
Most welcome.
So give us a little brief about the history behind the Lopino Historical Complex, the project.
The project started in the year 1972. That's when we completed in 1973, and we had opened the Tourism Lopino Historical Complex in 1st of December 1973. Mm-hmm. The idea was this was a real broken down area and so on, abandoned, right? And the idea came that the village council, which I was a member, we wrote the prime minister to look into the history of Lopino. And if there is any history, we like it to be, and they did, because they get the Historical Society and to come and look into it. And I started with them from that time. And so I worked with 33 years plus a 5 years grace, you understand? Yeah. So I enjoy every bit of it. Now that I retire, people keep calling me all the time to come and do it. And I come and do it, you understand? So today is no exception. Yeah, that's right. Well, the history is that Charles Joseph Lopino was born in France in the year 1738. By 1762, he had already joined the French army. By 1772, he had moved on to several countries, including Louisiana States of America, New Orleans in America. It was said he was in Canada. He came back down to the Caribbean, and he went to a country called Saint Dominique. Right? Now, in Saint Dominique was French territory, right? And the free Negro slaves that was called Toussaint Louverture wanted to liberate Saint Dominique from France. And he caused a revolution. But Lopino was in Santo Domingo, right? And he had married a wealthy proprietor's daughter, and the proprietors had 127 slaves. The mother-in-law gave Lopino 100 of her 127 slaves. I personally found that was a very big gift. Any mother-in-law could give a son-in-law 100 people to work for you for nothing, right? But what has happened that the Haitian Revolution had really started, and Lopino wanted no part of that revolution. But they said that he was well beloved by his slaves, that the slaves put him in a barrel, like a cargo of sugar, and he ended up in a British colony called Jamaica. But after several years in Jamaica, Lopino heard that the soil in Trinidad is very fertile, because he was solier and planter. So he petitioned the Secretary of State for England to send him down to Trinidad, which they agreed. And by 1800, Lopino arrived in Trinidad. Having arrived in Trinidad in 1800, Lopino met the first British governor of Trinidad that was called Sir Thomas Picton. But no instruction was given from England to give Lopino lands in Trinidad freely. So Lopino made a mortgage and he was able to buy. He bought 320 acres south of the Orange Grove Tacarigua estate area. Now, if we are wondering how we are, east, west, north, south, Port of Spain. So 9 miles from Port of Spain is the Tacarigua Orange Grove area. It is said that Lupino was experimenting with sugarcane, but he failed with his crops after several years. And he have decided to search for new lands. With a bodyguard of African slaves, it is said that Lupino migrated up the Aruga River. Now we having a problem with the name of the river. Up in the valley here, we are calling here Lupino River. Lower down, they are calling it Garden River. So an old Indian man come and look for me last year, telling me that he have a part of history for me. Between Aruka and Davadi going up there, there's a village called Garden Village. And he told me the reason why they call it the Garden Village and Gardener, not Gardener, right, is that the owner, his name was Gordon. And the slaves, and they could not have said Gordon. So they say Garden, right? And up to this day, it is called Garden Village and the Gardener River. What we just maintaining here is Lupino River. Now, hear what they say, that Lupino came up here with a boat. If you watch the river now, you'll say you can't get your socks wet too much at all. But what type of boat, they never said. And when he came inside here, again, they say that when he came inside here, he found nobody. I keep telling people all the time, Rima, where the tourists, the Amerindians are, Caribs, is not too far from here. So here is very close for them to come and hunt, and they will stay for a period of time. I want to tell you I was right, because only this year, Lupino great neighbors who are doing archaeological work come and find, how we call it, middens, and they started the project. So I was right again, you understand? Good. But when Lupino reached here, we go into the history that they found nobody here, right? Now, when he claimed 478 acres of this valley, he named it La Reconnaissance, right? So it is said he planted cocoa and have erected his house in 1806, 280 years ago. The material of the wall of the house is mud, grass, and the wood frame. So that combination is called tapia, T-A-P-I-A, right? 280 years old, that's all. Now, again as a count, I shouldn't go through that, but again as a count, I found that, it have been baffled with dirt house, you understand? And you have stone and everything around. However, he planted cocoa and erected the buildings outside there. One was used as a cocoa house and a jailhouse. We are now using it as an office. The second one is part of the slave barracks and so on.
Right.
Good. Lupino was very influential to one of our British governors called Sir Ralph Woodford. From 1813 to 1817, Lupino died 2 years after, 1819. So the remains of Lupino and his wife is outside there, and by 1838, slavery was abolished. But I always said that women had power a long time ago, because you had queens and all these sort of things, right? So when Lupino died, his cousin, a woman by the name of Eliza Lacoste, came and operated the estate with the slaves. No slaves tried to rape her, no slaves tried to beat her, no slaves doing nothing. They continued to work, right? Now, when Lupino was here, there's a slave called Colado. That's how they came on the hill, his name Colado. They said Colado had committed an offense against his master and ran away to the hills. After 2 days of searching, he was found hiding there. But there's not much history there. They say he was tried, convicted, and mysteriously disappeared. Again, I'm not buying that too much. You understand? Mysteriously disappeared. So you see again. So they tell the woman, who was controlling, no, and I keep knowing. I have two reasons for that. Either she was treating them very good, or they had love her or something. Okay, and so after that, the slaves moved on after a while.